Hey guys, it's Brian again from LakeHickoryScuba and Marina. Got another video discussion. We're going to talk about another article that I read here on ScubaBoard recently. If you hadn't figured it out by now, it's all about putting your mask on top of your head. And as always, I'll put the article link down in the description below. This particular article says, wearing a mask on the forehead, a distress signal. Now that seems ridiculous. Okay, and the whole entire article is about, does putting a mask on your forehead mean that diver or that you are in distress? And so we're going to talk about where that came from. Is it a good idea to put your mask on your forehead? And what are some other options if you want to secure your mask without having to do this? So where does this come from? Okay, and why do people say that's bad? Back in the old days, or especially back 20-some years ago when I learned how to dive, I was trained that you come to the surface. If you had a problem, most divers would typically do this right here. Okay, and I think there's two reasons behind that. One, yes, they may be in distress and they want to open up this airway, their nose and their mouth, so they'd either spit or rip their regulator out. They uncover their nose by putting their mask up, and that way they feel like they can breathe more. Another reason I think people do that is just because we're creatures of habit. Anytime that we wear sunglasses and we no longer need our glasses, a lot of times we'll do that. I know most of the day when I'm inside, my glasses are always on my forehead. So it's just out of habit that somebody's going to take their mask anytime that they don't need it and do that. So I think that's where that's come from for all these years. And yes, but most definitely, if you are in distress, most divers will typically do that. And it kind of bleeds off. But every diver that puts their mask on their forehead, does that automatically mean they're in distress? No. I'm sitting in an office, I'm talking to you here on YouTube, and my mask is on my forehead. My heart rate's not elevated. My respiratory rate's not increased. I'm not flailing my arms. I'm not screaming for help. So I'm not in distress. Well, let's take a diver that's on a dive boat. He's sitting on a dive boat. Him and his buddies planning out his dives. He's got his table, his computer's out, and he's calculating his no decompression limit. And he's got his mask on his forehead. Is he in distress? Well, if he's doing mathematical calculations, no, most likely he's not in distress. So now let's put him into the water. He's in the water. He's floating at the surface. He's discussing with his buddy, man, that was an awesome dive. Did you see that picture of that fish that I just took and blah, 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 blah? He's got his mask on his head. Does that mean he's in distress? Most likely, no. Now let's take the diver that's in the water. He's flailing his arms. He's bobbing up and down in the water column. He's trying to breathe. He's trying to yell for help. Is he in distress? Yes. Does the mask on his head automatically means he's in distress? No, but the other environmental factors or the other signs that he's showing, that means he's in distress. So just because you see a diver with a mask on their forehead does not automatically mean they're in distress. Now, is it bad for another diver, a dive master instructor, to walk up to you and say, hey, is everything okay? And if they say, yeah, I'm fine, why? And they say, well, you got your mask on your head. Is it bad that that person was concerned enough to come up to you to ask? Absolutely not. That is a great trait to have. I do that a lot in the pool with students. If I see their mask is here, even though I'm talking to them, even though I know everything is okay with them, I'll ask them just because I'm a creature of habit. That's the way I was trained. I'll ask them, hey, is everything okay? When they say, yeah, why? Well, your mask is on your forehead. It's a habit for me as an instructor because that's the way I was trained. And I'll explain to them, there's another reason behind not putting your mask up here other than the fact of it shows that you're in distress. Because obviously right now I'm not in distress, so this is not a sign of distress. I think that environmental factor, you put me in the water, and the other things that I may show would determine if I was in distress or not. But there's another way that if you want to wear it on your forehead, that's good. It's not, I hate to say that it's even any more secure than this, but simply spin it around, okay? And here's what I mean about not being secure. If you got it on your forehead, it takes one wave splashes, you're walking through the surf, your mask is gone for good. Putting it on your forehead in this fashion, it's not really going to help secure it in no way, shape, or form. But to prevent people from asking you, hey, are you okay? This is a little bit more acceptable, I guess you could say, because it takes self-conscious thought to take your mask off, reposition it backwards, and put it on here. It's very, very obvious you're not in distress. If you are completely freaked out, you breach the surface, you're most likely not even going to put it on your head. You're going to take it off and get rid of it. Okay, you're not going to take the time in a panicky situation to pull your mask off, turn it around, and put it here. So that's one way to get people not to ask you if you're okay, by simply doing that. However, this, even though I do this a lot, especially in a pool, this is still not that secure, say for in an ocean environment or something like that. So what are some other options to secure your mask if you don't actually want to wear it on your face? The easiest probably is simply to pull it down. The most securest method would be this. A lot of people don't like this because they feel like it's a choking hazard. Simply turn it where you don't have as much surface area, and then you got complete maneuverability of your neck, okay? And you don't have that choking hazard. If you're claustrophobic, first of all, if you're claustrophobic, you're probably going to be diving anyways. But if you are diving and you just don't like this, some other easy methods, Trident and Innovative Scuba and a couple other manufacturers or distributors, they sell products that they're basically like webbing strap that's got clips. You clip to a D-ring, the webbing strap goes around and snaps back to itself. It secures the mask. You can get, a lot of times, I'll put these little miniature carabiners. I'll leave them on my mask all the time, and I can take that carabiner and clip on to something. Another easy method, especially if you're in a pool, is take your arm through your mask, grab a shoulder strap, you've got a complete connection. You're not going to lose your mask that way. So there's many other options that you got. If you see a diver with his mask on his forehead, it's okay to assume something may be wrong with him. Simply ask him. That's a good thing. That's a good trait and a good quality to have. I like for people to be concerned about me, especially in a diving situation. So I don't mind them coming up and say, hey, is everything okay? But to kind of prevent them from doing that, I'll do this method. Just understand, this method is no more secure than the other method, okay? I would try to get in the habit, anytime you're in the water, simply leave your mask on, okay? If you're not distressed, I can easily breathe through my mouth. You have to breathe through your mouth when you scuba dive anyways, so I can breathe through my mouth without any problems. This is going to help you out. It's going to keep water from splashing in your eyes. Maybe you're in a colder environment. Like right now, it's I think it was 2 degrees this morning when I woke up. The water temperature here is down in the lower 40s. So leaving my mask on is going to help protect my face from that environment. But even in warmer environments, it's okay to leave your mask on. If you do want to put it on your forehead, just keep in mind you're going to attract that attention. Number two, it's not going to be secure. Even if you turn it here, it's not going to be as secure as pulling it around your neck or any other way. So however you decide to do it, that's completely up to you. Just don't be shocked if somebody comes up to you and asks you, just because that's how we trained in the old days. And even today, there's some instructors that still train that way. Just don't take offense to it if somebody asks you that. So guys, I really appreciate you watching this video. Make sure you click the link in the description below. Check out the article on ScubaBoard. As always, make sure you follow us on Twitter, you like us on Facebook, pin us on Pinterest, subscribe to us here on YouTube, and as always, guys, we appreciate your business.